because there was some regions and certain areas where there was so much dissent about Catholicism. Like the Albigensians, for example, there was a crusade called in southern France. But for 100 years before the Albigensian Crusade, Catharism was very common in southern France. Lots of people were Cathars. And so if you were there and you were walking around and you're a Cathar, like if you show up in the year 1160, there's no crusade, that's decades in the future. There's no Inquisition, that's decades in the future. It's just people, some people are Catholic, some people are Cathar. Some families were mixed, some members of a family would be Cathar, some members of the family would be Catholic. And the general vibe at the time in that region was, it's totally fine, it doesn't really matter. The Catholics in that particular area were not that concerned about it. Now, but there was schism between Catholics and Orthodox in 1054. At least that's the conventional date for it. It's a little misleading to frame it in those terms. It's not like if you show up in 1054 as Orthodox in Western Europe, everybody's going to think of you as an other. Because it's something that was more dynamic in terms of politics and mainly politics going on at the elite level of the church. And I really don't think that the rank and file Catholic in Italy or France or Germany gave much thought to this before. Christians split, Byzantine Empire was Christian. Really don't lots of schisms. There were lots of situations where the church got split in temporary ways for particular circumstances. They'd split for a particular period of time. Like in the 12th century, it was really common for there to be two popes at the same time. We don't hear about this today. If you take a world history class today, if it talks about late medieval Catholicism at all, it might talk about the Great Schism of the West, where there were two popes in the late 1300s. That was a unique situation. The 12th there were multiple times when there were two different popes, and also at other times too, before and after that. Because you'd have like the cardinals would pick one pope, the emperor, what we call the Holy Roman Emperor, didn't like that choice. He'd come down with his army and get another pope elected. So now you have two popes, and because he's there with his army, the previously elected pope would flee and go somewhere else where he'd be safe from two different towns. That was super common in the Middle Ages. It was political, it's because there were periods of time, like oftentimes the Holy Roman Emperor wanted to control who the Pope was, and then the popes would then try to depose the imperial dynasty because they saw it as it's a whole thing. But my point is, when those schisms happened, Christians did not automatically sort themselves into two opposed camps and hate each other.
Who the fuck?
Where that was something that bishops were involved with. But if you were an individual Christian from a diocese who was loyal to one pope, then you traveled to another diocese that was loyal to the other pope, they wouldn't all treat you like an outsider or like an enemy of the church or whatever. They would just treat you like a regular Catholic. And I think it would be the same. But there was one respect in which there was antipathy between Catholics and Orthodox, but it wasn't Catholics and Orthodox per se, because it was an ethnic thing rather than a religious thing. It was Western Europeans and Greek Byzantines. But there was a lot of cultural
Hey, bro, please. I'm just trying to defend myself. Hello.